talking about conflict, and that can be a scary word because just in general, a lot of people don't know how to resolve conflict, and it can be scary in marriages because if conflict comes up, then it can be, so many um, unnecessary and probably wrong emotions can pop up that, it's not supposed to be this way. It's supposed to be smooth sailing and love evermore. And if there's conflict, that means I must have chosen wrong, and this must not be the person I was supposed to marry. And Michael Todd talks about how conflict can be a good thing, but don't stay in conflict. You want to disagree in a way that strengthens your unity without leaving scars. He talks about how we need to hold back the critical speech, find something to praise. It will help your spouse, and it will remind you of the good in the person you chose to marry. He talks about how our words are either building up the person you want to be married to, or they're tearing down the person you have been married to. And so, often we fight about things and we bring up the past, and we, as we've talked about before, keeping the focus on what is the problem, not on things that happened last week or last year or 10 years ago, but keeping the conversation focused on what the actual problem is. And remember, it's tone and word choice. That is very important. And when you have conflict, is tone and word choice. And you can either just use arguments to tear them down, or you can help strengthen each other even in disagreement. And we're going to have disagreement in every relationship. It's just how we choose to navigate that. He talks about how arguments are going to happen, but the more you can do to prevent unnecessary arguments or bring arguments to a productive conclusion, the less damage your fighting is going to do. And that's just, I was talking about that, keeping it on the central topic, not bringing everything into it and bringing other family men into it and that sort of thing. Because he talks about how Satan's plan is to divide and conquer, but God's plan is to unite and conquer. And so, it's just important that whenever you do have conflict, that you pull together against the problem. You don't pull against each other, as Chip Gaines says. One thing that can be very helpful, when it comes, and I kind of mentioned tone and word choices, that is, keep your voice calm, keep it low, keep it in a, as what we tell our kids, inside voice. So much conflict arises because there is passion on both sides, and that's good because there's passion there. But it's keeping your passions under control and truly listening, to what the other person is saying, to understand, not to listen to respond, and not raising your voice. And you want to be able to have major conflict in the midst of others, and they not even know that you're having major conflict, because your tone and your word choice is so pleasant that you can work through problems and people not even know it. And so often something minor becomes something major, and it's really not, in looking at it, it's not even that big a deal, but because wrong words were used, harsh words were used, tone was harsh, and it was really loud, it seems like a major thing. And just because there's a disagreement doesn't mean there has to be shouting and yelling and slamming of doors and throwing things. So I just encourage you to, just to watch your words and your tone, and just to have a productive conversation, because that'll help resolve it faster as well. Is just working through things and listening to understand, not listening to respond. And so I just hope this was helpful and will help you going forward.